practitioner who has spent almost 20 years focusing entirely on real estate, I strive to provide professional service with personal attention both to your clients and to you. I look forward to working with you.
Hi, I'm Jim Slack with Advocate Insurance, your Medicare and senior insurance specialist. I help people with everything regarding to Medicare, including plan selection. So if you'd like a complimentary consultation, please call me at 815-666-6648. Thank you.
Hey, Carol with White Glove Building Inspections, your full service team since 1990. Give us a call, 630-428-4555. Make it great.
Joe Madrano from Loan Depot, and my goal is to be your trusted brand in mortgage lending, credit, and financing. I strive to provide my clients with timely and relevant information so that your clients can make powerful and informed decisions about both.
Carrington Title Partners is partnering with you to support realtors while providing a smooth, confident, and professional closing for your clients. Please go to carringtontitle.com to learn more about our agency program.
I've been the attorney for Three Rivers for over 20 years. I'm currently a major investor with RPEC. Our office works to close deals. Please allow us to work with you and on behalf of your clients. Please reach out at 815-725-7300. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Christy Lister. Many of you know me, but I'm a mortgage lender at M&M Bank, and I'm here for all your mortgage needs. If you have any questions or your clients do, please don't hesitate to reach out. Enjoy your food for thought, and I look forward to getting to know everyone. Thank you and have a great day.
Hey guys, Ray Manuel here with National Title Solutions. We do the insurance for when you refinance or you sell your home. We're a proud affiliate for the Three Rivers Association, and we just want to give a shout out to all the realtors out there and all the other affiliates. I hope you guys are having a great new year. See you guys at the next event.
Do you want to get more buyers to the closing table? This is Scott Seaton, SLS Home Inspections. Are buyers stressed out when buying a new home? Of course they are. We are experts at stress reduction. Try us once and see the difference, or schedule online, slshomeinspections.com.
Day or night, from the air or on the ground, Angle Drone Solutions can capture your special image or video. With our drones and selection of cameras, we can provide both video and photos to support all your needs.
All right, so without further ado, I'd like to present to you our first presenter here this morning, and that is going to be Scott Seaton with SLS Home Inspections. Let's give him a big round of applause. I'm going to dress you up here, all right? All right.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Food for Thought. Used to be lunch to learn, but I like food for thought. First of all, special thanks to Joe for helping get this all set up. Amanda, Molly, Lori, Haley, everybody at the office here. I am Scott Seaton, SLS Home Inspections, home inspector with a heart. Everybody who's here, if you're right-handed, raise your right hand. If you're left-handed, raise your left hand. Pat yourself on the back. I'm glad you're here. You're going to learn something. There's going to be some golden nuggets here that you'll be able to take with you. Hopefully help build your business. That's what the goal is. My topics today are going to be home inspector myths, agent bedside manner, if you ever heard of that, waiving inspections, ancillary inspections, Century Lock, and scheduling. And at the end, I will pass out a special gift for all of you. Not the gift card stuff, that's question stuff. These are scratch-off cards for you to give to your buyers, not for you to have the fun scratching off, but for them to have fun scratching off. And I know in the pile that I've done over the years, there are 2 cards that say the word free underneath, and they have never been turned in. So it might be with these, it might be not these, but everyone is a winner. So is it okay if I use my notes today? Cool with that? I want to make sure I give you all of the information that I need. So what is the goal of a home inspection? It's pretty close to the same as your goal. How can we get those buyers to the closing table where they end up with a happy home life in their house, and they are so thrilled and so happy with the way the whole process went working with you that they are going to refer their friends and relatives to you forever. So if it's 5 years or 7 years or whatever the new number is that people stay in a house, anybody that says, hey, we're having a baby, we need a bigger house, you go, I know somebody. Or they say, I just caught that scumbag husband cheating on me, we're getting a divorce, we need 2 houses. You'll keep them separate, right? So that's you want that number. You want that number right away. So it's not just another commission check for you or another inspection fee for us. We want to help you get the buyers to the closing table without freaking them out. So how do we do that? We do it by, one of the ways we do it is called bedside manner. You have it, right? And we're not doctors, but you call it house side manner. So some home inspection myths. Here's some home inspection myths that are presented to home inspection companies all the time. Buyers say this to me all the time. Can a house pass or fail? Can a house pass or fail? Yes? No? Anybody? No. The answer is no. There is no pass or fail. What we do is observe and report. We tell you what we see, we tell you why we think it's not so cool, and we tell you who we think should probably fix it. So we have a way of, an analogy that we like to use. If you've had an inspection from us before, you've heard us say this, and people understand it because it's pretty simple. Cookies and crumbs. What are cookies? They're big things, structural things, safety things, expensive things. Probably should have a qualified contractor to do the work. Those are cookies. So pretty easy to figure out. What are crumbs? The exact opposite. So if it's easy, if it's simple, if it's not that expensive, if any cousin Billy relative can do it for a case of Bud Light, you're probably getting the picture. And some people will say, that looks like a cookie. I'll be like, have you ever ordered that party cookie from Papa John's that comes in a box and it's got frosting and sprinkles on it? Yeah, and I go, that's what kind of cookie this is. This is, your walls are caving in. It's a big deal. Otherwise, it's like, is this just like, I think I could do this. I go, then it's probably a crumb, okay? So it's easy to understand that. Okay, another myth. Should we advise buyers about how much your commission or how much the selling price of the house should be? That's a big fat no. You would skewer me if you found out I'm at an inspection and a buyer says to me, this is a 185. What do you think? What do you think this house should sell for? And I go, what? 185? Are you crazy? There's no way this is more than 125. You're getting ripped off. Good Lord, that would be like really stupid thing to do. Or if I said, how much is your real estate commission? How much you paying? What? You know, you can get like way cheaper if you do this. No. So the flip side of that is, the next time a client asks you, how much is a home inspection going to be? Remember this phrase, or this question to ask them. Well, let me ask you this. How much is a new car? And what are they going to say? Depends on the car, right? Like, who knows? It's all over the map. Well, that's the same thing when they ask, how much should a home inspection be? It depends on the house. Things that add time to an inspection add cost to the house. Square footage, that's an easy one. Bigger the house, the longer it's going to take, the more it's going to cost. You wouldn't expect to pay the same price for an 8,000 square foot house as for a 1,500 ranch with a, you know. If it has a crawl space adds a lot of time. We find a lot of good stuff in the crawl space. Good by cookies, bad by when's the last time any of you that have a crawl space ever literally went in your crawl space? Never? You're right. Why would you? It's disgusting. That's unless you have it permaseal. That's cool. That's crazy expensive, but it's a nice. When I open up a crawl space and I see permaseal, I literally hear angels in the background singing, like choirs. Like, oh, this is going to be a great day. So we don't tell people how much your fee should be, or how much your commission should be, or how much your house should sell for. So just say, you know what? Every house is different. Call them up, ask them, you know, give them all the details, and they will give you the fee, and you'll know exactly what you're dealing with. Because there's still people that say, well, my agent told me $250 is about the average fee for an inspection. I'm like, yeah, in 97 maybe. I mean, it's so long ago, it's ridiculous. So that's the myth about that. Okay, so should an agent be at the inspection? A real estate agent, should you be at the inspection? Yeah. I think some places it's even a rule, but does it always happen? No. It should, but it doesn't always. Sometimes it's a vacant house. Sometimes it's a foreclosure. Sometimes it's scheduling. Sometimes whatever. They're at the end of their inspection contingency window. They got to get it done, and so that's sometimes a challenge. But the best practice and just it's again just common sense. Again, your job is to get as many referrals from these people because they are so happy with their service working with you that they want to refer you over and over and over again for years to come. They've never met me. They've never met my other inspector. We are not, they've never seen us before. They've only talked to us on their phone, or they scheduled online, or they talked to our call center. They don't know us. So of course, when they show up, we're meeting for the very first time. And sometimes first-time buyers too. Talk about intimidation. They're already scared out of their mind. They don't know what to expect. We try and walk them through it, help them a little bit, but just picture you're a first-time buyer. You don't know this guy you're meeting. You don't know anything about what's supposed to happen at a home inspection. You're flipping out. What would be the best thing for them to have happen? You show up, hold their hand. This is called bedside manner. It's just simple promotion of yourself and good feeling for them. So if they're walking through the house with you and they've got questions, because I'll be real honest, going through a home inspection, it's boring. It's really boring. You know, every once in a while there's something like, that's pretty exciting, but most houses, people aren't going to, let a house go on the market that's just a piece of garbage unless some crazy bad, scenario has happened. But usually they're like, we'll fix this, we'll fix what we can see and hope they don't see the rest. Sometimes that's what their thought process is. But just as a rule, it's not real exciting. So if you get to an inspection, a buyer can get to an inspection and you're there with them, you can help them measure for window treatments, you can help them measure for furniture, you can help them where's the water main shut off. If they're not following us around, we'll show them. If they are following us, we'll show them. We'll show them where their furnace filter is. We'll show them where the breakers are, how to shut off stuff. But if they're just wandering around, they're going to be, and especially if they bring their kids, little kids, major boring. I even bring extra flashlights for kids just to look for spiders and stuff. And even in 10 minutes, they're like, okay, we didn't find any. Now what can we do, Mr. Fun Man? So it's just not, it's not going to happen. Tell them, don't bring your kids. Also, if they're a first-time buyer and it's a young woman buying her first house and her father is in the trades, that's the trifecta of bad. Young woman, first-time buyer, dad's in the trades, and there he is, like They're like squirrels. Like, oh, did you see that over there? Oh, well, what about that up there? Hey, did you see this over there? I'm like, sir, we got a process. We got a system. We got a routine. You write down all your questions. At the end of the inspection, we'll go over everything, and if you find something on your list of questions that we didn't answer, we'll jump on it. Until then, let's do our thing. I mean, I literally had a guy that was a trade guy, Dad, that was going through the files and the mail of the sellers. And they had a camera in their house, and they called me, the listing agent called me and said, tell that man who's going through our mail and our files to get out of the office. And I go in there, French doors open up, like, whoa, what are you doing? Got to protect my little girl, never know what they might be hiding. And I go, you just got me in a lot of trouble. You got to go outside. And he goes, it sounds like you're putting me in a timeout. And I said, I am. You got to go outside. He was like not happy. She was mortified. But that's the crazy. So, should you be at the inspection? Absolutely. There is a world of benefits for you being at the inspection. Okay, next myth. Is it a good idea to waive the home inspection contingency? Yeesh. Talk about, a whole pile of bad. Why would anyone ever request that? We know why. They're trying to make their offer better. They're trying to make their offer, it's a crazy seller's market. So they think, if I don't have an inspection, I got a pretty good eye for this stuff. My trade dad, he knows what to look for stuff. We found everything that we might find in this house. We're going to be good to go. It makes no sense. You can also, if they decide to make the offer, you can still schedule a home inspection after they bought the house. And now they really know what they bought. But just waiving it doesn't make any sense. Sometimes people are just super rich. They're like, I don't care. I'm going to fix it anyway. I'm going to remodel anyway. I'm going to get rid of the shag. I'm going to get rid of the mirrors on the wall. I'm going to get rid of the Harvest Gold fixtures. I'm gutting the place. I don't care. So that makes sense. Sometimes it's such a crazy good deal that they're getting that they know whatever bad would be, they'll have enough equity in the place in a very short time to make it work. And sometimes it's just really bad advice from a relative that just says, yeah, this house looks beautiful. Well, there's a lot of houses that look beautiful. How many houses do we go in that have a buff sort of gray paint with white trim, with cherry floors, with granite tops, with nice fixtures, nice lighting, new composite deck? They've done all the stuff right. Like it's all in all the shows. The subway tile, the shiplap siding, those goofy, whatever her name is, Magnolia lady. All of those, everybody knows what people like, so that's what they do. And you go in a house, the phrase lipstick on a pig? That's sometimes what we find on houses like that. Lipstick on a pig. I heard another one. Everybody know what a cow pie is? Cow pie? When a cow's walking in the field and it just goes, makes a dump, and then it dries, gets real hard, you can throw it like a Frisbee. That's cow pies. So there's another phrase, it's called a bow tie on a cow pie. And I thought that's pretty clever. See, I'm south. We're almost in Mexico. I'm Bourbonnais, so we're like way south. So that's waiving the home inspection contingency. The next thing, ancillary inspections. Are they needed? Are they required? Are they a great idea? They're not required, that's for sure. By ancillary, I mean all sorts of things: radon, mold, sewer scope, chimney scope, well testing, termite inspection. Some of those are required, I should say that. Termite is usually required. Asbestos, lead paint, all of that stuff. Those are all different things that can be added to an inspection. They are not required in many cases. Super good idea, and especially depending on the age of the house. If it's an older home and we see white stuff on pipes that's dangling and hanging off and near a door that keeps hitting it and knocking fuzz stuff off, well, they've probably been breathing asbestos forever. But we can't say, yep, that's asbestos. I'm pretty sure it is. And I'll say, I'm pretty sure that's asbestos. Or if I see 9-inch by 9-inch floor tiles, That's going to be asbestos floor tile. But guess what? It's all glued down tight. It's not cracking. It's fine. Just don't start chipping it up and tearing it up. Lead paint. Don't start scraping it off while you're holding your baby nursing or something. That's stupid. They're breathing lead paint dust. So do they have to get all these type things? No, but some cases it's really smart to do. And I know there are some loan requirements that will look at stuff like that. Like, I don't know, maybe FHA, they don't like peeling paint. No way. They don't like broken windows. They don't like missing handrails. They don't like a whole lot of stuff that they see. So GFCI outlets, they go crazy for those. But as far as it goes, when it's likely or obvious, we're going to say this has the appearance of mold or the appearance of lead paint, or based on the age of the house or the appearance of asbestos. We recommend it getting tested, and we can do that. Sometimes people will be like, well, we're not going to do anything to the house. You think this is lead paint. I'll say, but it's not peeling. It's not flaking. It's not chipping off. So in that case, guess what? It's just paint. Any house built before 1978 absolutely has lead paint in it. And 1978 was when they banned lead paint. It's not like all the lead paint in all the garages of Stosh and Rose's old barn house in the back, down the basement, all of a sudden dried up on that day in 1978. Lead paint works really well. That's why everybody loved it. And you know why kids like to eat lead paint? That's the problem with it. They eat the chips and stuff other than breathing the dust. Lead paint tastes sweet, tastes like candy. It's like they're living in Willy Wonka. Like, this wallpaper tastes like snozberry. It's like, this is awesome. But it's lead paint and they don't know. So if I see floor tile, it's on the floor. It's just tile if it's not peeling up. If I see insulation on pipes that's solid and secure and not crumbling and not in danger of getting banged up, it's just insulation. We'll say what it is, but we're going to say, yeah, this is not a big deal. This is fine the way it is. So, okay, so those are a lot of the myths of home inspection things. Not even all of them are myths, but those are some of the things. I told you we would talk about Century Lock. Everybody has Century Lock. If you don't, it's pretty cool. You should, but I know you have to pay for it. Guess what? We pay for it too. We have it so that we can have a record of when we go into a house, and you don't have to drive like psycho to get there to open the door for us. We can get in the door with Century Lock, obviously, if we've got it. But winter coming, some people say, well, we'll have my assistant send you a one-day code. Don't bother. We got it. We got Century Lock, and it works great, especially the new face thing. You don't even have to push a button, just look at it and goes, and the door opens, the little thing opens. So some of the things that we get complaints about seem similar, sort of like, really, that's a complaint? A lot of times the things that we get complaints about from agents are, how do we get a hold of you? How do we schedule? It's so hard to schedule. It's hard to find out when you're available. It's like, well, no, it's not. It's super easy. If you go on our website, it's got a box that says schedule. And you just click on the box and all the calendar opens up. You can see exactly the days and times that we have available. Plug one in, put all the information that you think you can fill in, and we'll fill in the rest if we need more. We have more questions. We also have an app. It's really not an app. It's called a widget, but I call it an app. If you would like one, it goes right on your home screen on your phone. You tap on that. It shows you how many days, what times are available. Put in the information. It also will tell you, if you've done inspections with us before, it'll show you all your old reports. So say you got a house that we inspected and it was 3 weeks ago, and the seller said, we're going to fix the water heater vent, we're going to fix the gas leak, and we're going to fix the broken window in the one room. And your buyer says, I can't get out, I'm so nervous about that window and that gas leak. Can you go to the house and make sure all that stuff was fixed? And you go, okay, because you're holding their hand, right? You're their best friend. You're wanting this deal to go smooth. You get to the house and you're like, where's my reminder of what I was supposed to look at? I forgot. Oh yeah, I got that cool app thing. Open it up, open up that inspection report, look through the report and go, oh yeah, the water heater, okay. Looks like it's fixed. Okay, gas leak. Here's the bill from Bob's Pipe Repair Company. That's fixed. Oh, here's the broken window. It was in the back bedroom. Ooh, window's fixed. Okay, I'm good. Otherwise, I gotta go back to the office. I gotta print the paper. I gotta start all over. And this makes it super easy. So you can schedule. Obviously, we have phone scheduling. That's pretty common. But we also have a backup call center. So if we don't answer and schedule, they can do it. But I literally have had people at 2 in the morning. I just picture this happening. You know, they're so involved in their job and they're so in love with everything. They're just like, oh no, I forgot to schedule an inspection. It's 2 in the morning. I've got the app. We're good. Now I go back to sleep. Peaceful dreams. So, that is everything I've got. I don't know how long I have talked. Does anybody know how scratch-off cards work? Like, scratch them off, there's a prize underneath. Yeah, well, I'll give each one of you a card. I literally have people call me, agents call and say, yeah, we got a scratch-off card. I go, oh, they're sitting right there? No, I scratched it off for them. I go, well, you're a buzzkill. Like seriously, what if it was like the big cool one and they was like, and they flipped out and jumped in your arms and like, we won the free. No, don't take that away. Just let them scratch it off. And if you want more, I've got more. And they're all winners. Start at $19 and then go up. And I'm still waiting because you know that Happy Gilmore movie when he wants the giant check like the one guy gets. He says, I want a big check. No, yours will come in 3 weeks. No, I want a giant check. So he's got his back of his Pinto or something filled with giant checks. If somebody ever has that free one, I will have a giant check made. And when I give it to them, that will be the coolest video I've ever done. That will show them, hey, look, hey, you won free inspection. Oh my God. So last thing is I'll pass these out. If you'd like to see an interesting video about where my home inspector with a heart name came from, I did have a heart attack almost 11 years ago, 2012, died twice, shocked back to life, became a vegetarian, got passed out of rehab a month or so later and continued on, with my inspection business. And there's a YouTube video called Home Inspector with a Heart, Riverside Hospital, and it tells the story. It's 5 minutes. There's some teary moments from my wife, which they make sure to put it in there because that's how you get the donors. And so, but hopefully you'll enjoy that. So I'll pass these out, and at the end we'll have more questions. You'll have some questions and win a cool Dunkin' Donut thing. Thank you.
Let's give Scott a round of applause. Grab this from you here.
Yep.
All right, I'll shake your hand too. All right, you know what? I hope you all learned something new. I certainly did. I now know what a cow pie is. All right, our next presenter here is going to be Denise Kolbeck from Choice Home Warranty. And I appreciate Denise for coming on out and sharing her expertise. So we encourage you, as she's passing that out, to fill out those cards if you have any questions. We are going to be collecting them at the end, so just keep them there where you're at. And without further ado, let's give Denise Kolbeck a big round of applause.
I don't need a microphone. I'm pretty loud.
Well, we're going to need one for the video.
Okay.
Yes. May I clip this on your?
Yeah, go ahead. Just get it in the right spot so it looks decorative.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, here's your clicker. I'm going to need you to stand here for
Oh,
the video.
the clicker. Okay.
Yeah. That button to move forward. Okay? Thank you.
All right. Good morning, everybody. I am Denise with Choice Home Warranty. I work in the real estate division of Choice. We do have two separate divisions, the direct-to-consumer and the real estate division. The real estate division is developed strictly for our realtors and their customers and clients. So it's more robust. You get an individual rep to help you with situations or questions. That'd be me. We add a little more coverage with much higher caps on our side. So if you're going to have your clients look at Choice Home Warranty, please have them go to chwpro.com. CHW Pro is the VIP Realtors site. If they Google choicehomewarranty.com, they're going to get my direct-to-consumer division, okay? That's the first rule of thumb. Now, first slide. Ooh, this worked good. So we obviously know that money doesn't grow on trees, and our job is to protect your buyers and sellers' budgets, meaning that if they do have a major system or appliance breakdown within their home, such as their furnace, their air conditioner, their water heater, like the biggies, right? We will assist in repairing and replacing that. Now, sometimes on a repair, we cover it 100%. All they have to do is pay their service fee, which is $75 with Choice, pretty low. And everybody's happy, okay? But it is an individual basis depending upon what the breakdown cause was and what's wrong with it and whether we're going to be able to find the parts to replace it, you know. But they have somebody to call to get it going. So we send out our vendor to them. We dispatch one of our vendors. We're nationwide, so we've got them all the way across the country to come out and diagnose the issue. If you don't know how to remember what a home warranty covers, remember the word peach, plumbing, electrical, appliances, cooling, and heating. Just peach. Pretty easy. So, recently we released the addition to our family of title monitoring, identity theft protection, credit monitoring. This is free with our Top Ultimate plan. The Top Ultimate plan is $660 for 13 months of coverage. They get 12 months of Financial Shield free along with that, which is, in this day and age, insane. So ever since COVID, we've been working hard to find ways to improve our product and its value without increasing the price or the service fee. So, great news. Another thing we just added is the option of cell phone coverage. So it doesn't matter how many phones are in the home. We'll cover all the phones in the home. The only restriction on it is if you make a claim, it's an $800 cap on that claim, and 2 claims allowed a year. Now, it's going to cover if your kid drops the phone in the toilet or cracks the screen or somehow or another something went wrong inside. And I always say, you know, if somebody wants to throw me $800 towards a new phone, I'm in, right? Also, we added external water line and external sewer and septic line repair. Now, this is pretty unheard of for a home warranty company to do. But again, we're working hard to find ways to make our product more valuable. That is additional coverage, so they do have to pay for that coverage to be added on. And the external sewer and septic line repair also covers for tree roots. So that's a biggie. So if you're thinking of selling, I have door hangers. If you're a realtor and you want to make use of door hangers and walk the block before the weather gets too bad, these door hangers allow you to put your card on it and they say, now is the time to sell. And who doesn't like looking at homes during the holidays? Aren't they? They're so warm and cozy and pretty. And so I think this is the time to sell. We do cover sellers as well. Sellers coverage is free for up to 6 months during the listing period, with the exception of their heat, vent, and air conditioning. That is a $60 add-on for sellers, okay, for sellers only. So it's $60 for sellers coverage. They could choose any one of our plans to be covered by, but it's $60 to cover their HVAC during the listing period. There is no money due until closing. So at closing, since we're in this together, the expectation is that the buyer's warranty will be paid for at closing, along with the seller's HVAC, and the peace of mind is passed on. Now what this does is it allows you, as the realtors, a negotiating tool. So use the home warranty to negotiate, whether it be your listing with seller's coverage already on it or your buyer. Go ahead and use the home warranty as negotiation. i.e., if you're the seller and the buyer does their home inspection and they come back with the HVAC system is nearing the end of its life expectancy, and the buyer gets frightened and says, well, I want a $10,000 credit because I don't know if that's going to work. I don't know if that air conditioner is going to work come spring. I want a credit. Well, this suggests to your seller that they utilize the home warranty, offer them a 5-year warranty in place of the credit. The 5-year warranty is $2,400. Now you've saved your seller money, you've saved your commission, and you've given the peace of mind to the buyer that they're looking for. So there's ways to use the warranty as a negotiating tool, okay? This is an application form which is on the inside back cover of our warranty. So when you present this to your buyers and sellers, go ahead and have them either opt in, decline or accept, choose the plan. If it's a seller, they're going to have to choose if they want the HVAC for the additional $60 or not. We do limit our liability on the selling side because there's no guarantee of that revenue stream coming in. If the home is taken off the market or closes without the home warranty, there is no money due at all, even if they use the home warranty during the listing period. So we really take a risk here. Okay, multi-year. So we offer multi-year plans. Our top ultimate plan for 13 months. We offer 13 months of coverage. We add 1 year per year purchased, or 1 month per year purchased. So top plan is $660 for 13 months. Right now, $1,010 for 2 years and 2 months, $1,490 for 3 years and 3 months, and then $2,400 for 5 years and 5 months. That's a good long time of coverage, right? We offer buyer's rekey. So for the low $75 service fee, every time they place a claim, there is a service fee due to the vendor upon his arrival to diagnose. The service fee is $75. We will rekey up to 6 locks in their new home and provide them with 4 keys. This is a nice closing gift. This slide. So if the seller will not pay for the home warranty and the buyer still wants the home warranty, they may purchase it themselves, and we do offer monthly payment plans to buyers. So our top ultimate plan for $660 is a $55 a month payment. Pretty reasonable, right? So go ahead, add me to your contacts. Everybody's phone comes out. Now's the time. That's our QR code down in the corner. So if you put that on your phone, your clients and customers can just hold their phone over that QR, and our brochure will open on their phone. Keep control over your buyers and sellers, because if you're not in control, you're out of control. Am I right? So that's all I have to say. Any questions?
We're going to hold questions till the end.
Okay. Hold questions till the end.
All right. What a round of applause for Denise. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I'm going to leave that there for you.
Yeah, please. I'm going to need it. All right. Hope y'all are getting some value here. Next up, we have White Glove Inspections and Bruce Fisher. I will dress you up here.
Give me a clip.
Let me do that. If you can stand right here for the video, that'd be great. And then here's the clicker for you. Let's see if we can.
Arrow to the right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
15, 20 minutes good?
Oh, I'll have plenty of that.
All right.
Okay. Thank you for having me here today. My name is Bruce Fisher. I am the owner of White Glove Building Inspections, as long as Carol's not in the room. I have to thank Scott for going over basic home inspections and myths, but I do have to clarify the definition of a home inspection. And here we go. A business with illogically high liability, proportionally slim profit margins, limited economic scales, a incredibly diverse, disciplined consulting service under difficult field circumstances before a highly stressed audience with differing interests in possibly short time frame, requiring production of an extraordinary detailed report, and a technically exhaustive without the benefit of research facility or resources. That's a home inspection. And we do about 2,500 of those a year, 2,500 of them. I got nothing. Yeah, here we go, one more. What do we do?
You might have pressed the wrong button.
There we go.
There you go. All right.
We got big fingers here. This is my group of motley men. None of them will be on the cover of Gentleman's Quarterly anytime soon. I have two more heads that I'm supposed to have on here. Obviously, I'm the young guy in the middle there. My son Robert and the other Mary Mend. We're all licensed by Illinois, which has to be, and one more thing that Scott mentioned, which has to be important, general liability insurance is required by law that they have, home inspectors have to have, so we have that covered, and I'll go into that a little bit later. This is our service area. We've been all over Chicago. All those dots shows an event that we did in 2022. I didn't do 2023 yet because my daughter didn't kick it out at me, so I didn't do it. Okay. This here is a little hard to read, but I'm going to go over basically what we do as a home inspection company. We do residential inspections, of course, and thank you, Scott. Luxury inspections where we send multiple inspectors out. We do commercial inspections. We do sewer scopes, chimneys. We do synthetic stucco or eaves. I don't know if you have any drive-in homes or anything like that if you've had to come across. We do new construction phase inspections. We do radon testing. We've been doing radon testing since they started. Since I started inspecting, we've been doing radon, and they licensed it as well. Mold testing, VOCs, volatile organic compound. I've done a number of those, ironically, in commercial buildings. Thermal imaging. We do seller pre-listing inspections, which I'm going to go over a little bit more in depth here. And we're all licensed drone pilots. Everybody have, take out your phone and do real estate agent fined $11,000. Come on. That's a good one. And you won't like it, but it's out there, okay? So I don't want you to be that person. We're fully insured, which means we not only have our general liability insurance, we have our E&O insurance, we take care of that. We inspect 7 days a week. We bring people out of circulation during the week, and we bring them up on the weekend. We have a 48-hour scheduling guarantee. What are you finding?
Unlicensed drone.
They hire an unlicensed drone pilot. The drone pilot gets an $1,100 fine, but the real estate agent who hired them, knowing they were unlicensed, gets an $11,000 fine.
Technically, isn't the buyer who's hiring them, though?
If the real estate agent made the call, they have fine, and that actually was in the law. When they find them, the FAA actually went after agents. So it's something that's a particular concern for you. We do same-day booking availability because of the number of guys we have, and we also do online 24-hour inspections, which we also have a digital app, and we have a digital info for our reports, and we have extended offer hours with live personnel answering our phones, and we have verifying discounts in the back. We have $50 off coupons for everybody here, and we also offer something called a 50-50 guarantee. What that means is if you hire us and if you don't close on that house in 50 days or it goes through, we'll come back out for $50 less and do the inspection. One of the main things we like real estate agents to do is manage the expectations of the buyer, of what we really do and what we really can't do. We try to do this when we open up an inspection at site, and when we have them call us, we tell them what we can and can't do. So it's very important that you manage what they can do. For me, I like to tell them where we're at, the state law and the real estate contract. On your contract, under what section does it here? It's 9.1 for the real estate as to what it's covering for the inspection process, or what inspections the buyer can actually ask for. I'm full ASHI as well as InterNACHI. All my guys are fully CPI'd InterNACHI inspectors or ASHI. We do life safety and habitability and environmental concerns. When it really comes down to it, we're at a home for life safety and habitability. That's why we're there, because what's going on as far as structural things, that's life safety, habitability. So we try to stay away from something called code when we do inspections. There's a lot of homes that were built in 1952 that are still in code compliance because they weren't touched. So we stay away from that. What we do is we say we need to have something brought up to current standards, things like that. So it's a way to say it, like GFCIs. They're started in the mid-'80s. Now they're almost required everywhere. or arc faults are now code, so they're not here, it's a safety concern. Understanding the scope of the inspection. Typically, the buyers are going to show up. This is what I'm talking for, make sure the buyers are aware. So I kind of brought it at it a little bit different angle than what Scott did. I want to make sure that you can get the sellers, because you have your sellers, aware of what we're going to be doing. We're going to be, the buyers are probably going to attend, that we are licensed. We've been out doing inspections for quite a while. The home inspection is a visual exam, and we are generalists when we do the inspection. When you find something wrong, a lot of times we're not going to tell them how to fix it. We're going to tell them that you need to get it fixed, to hire the HVAC, the structural engineer, or something like that. And it is our professional opinion, and they may do additional services like radon, mold, EIFS, or thermal imaging, fireplace, or sewer now on that one, and whatever is, and as according to this, it's all in their real estate contract that it was in fact authorized in their contract to have the inspections. We will have to get into all rooms of the property, including the attic, crawl spaces, and garage. Or sometimes I can't even get into attics or crawl spaces. They're so full of stuff. They're so crowded with stored items to get into a garage, things like that. The inspector will be turning things open on. We will be opening stuff up. Our rule is if we can open it up with access ports, we'll get in it, crawl in it, whatever we need to do. Real estate contractor agrees that the inspections are out there, including the environmental. And if we're going to do any environmental, like close house conditions for the radon test, and I'll go into radon a little bit deeper. And we do prepare even a vacant house to make sure it's ready. Get the water on, electric, plumbing. Just yesterday I had one of my inspectors show up. There was no electric, no water onto the house, but they did have gas for the furnace, but there was nothing else was on. The seller should leave. A lot of times you have a seller that's there and he's helping out. I'll say it politely. He's helping out. I have learned how to have sellers help out by saying, if you fix that, I won't put it in the report. And he's off to ace. So he's taking care of it. And let us do our jobs, and don't be an eager host, things like that. 6 major areas to prepare. Just check your major systems. Change the filters. Make sure everything's operating or fix your foundation cracks, electrical system. Bring up the code on certain issues, like put the GFCIs where they're supposed to be, things like that. If there's any flashing or repairs that are obvious, just take care of them. Maintenance work. Trim back the bushes, replace the caulk, make it look clean, even for the sales, for you to have your buyers look at a home or have your sellers actually get a home ready for sale. Get the details, fix the leaks, replace burnout light bulbs, fix damaged screens, all the little stuff. Safety. Make sure your smoke detectors are there. Have the basement foundation egress windows clear to make sure that the home, we can get in and out of the basement right. Cosmetic stuff. Mow the lawn. Clean the windows. Take care of stuff like that. Information, the receipts or records of service that they might have had on the home. Get that out up on the counter. Make sure everything's good. Additional items to prepare for. Radon. A lot of times in the contract, they'll have a radon test. We have to have closehouse conditions 12 hours prior. It sits for 48 hours, and they have to maintain closehouse conditions during the course of the test. We do mold testing, EIFS. EIFS is exterior insulation finishing systems. A lot of people refer to it as drive-it. We actually do pinholes into the drive-it and check for moisture levels. Anything 25% to 30% is considered pretty elevated. Above that, it's rotting in there, and it has to be taken care of. Well and septic, they'll do well and septic tests. They'll actually do water flow on the well, and they'll dig up with a septic tank and take a look for the affluents flowing through it to make sure everything's working. Asbestos and lead. In Illinois, home inspectors can do lead and asbestos, and we do it when we have to. We don't like to do it, but we end up doing asbestos where we take a sample or we do a lead sample. Pest inspections, typically for a VA inspection, it's going to be a required item and for a VA, but we have done pest inspections. Sewer scope. Sewer is relatively new for a lot of home inspectors. We've been doing it for quite a while. You actually take off the clean-out cap. You put a inspection camera out through the line to see just how bad that sewer line is. A lot of times there's tree roots, it's collapsed, it's damaged, it's cracked, it's deteriorated, and something else is going on. And that's very pricey to get repaired. And then fireplace. The reason why we like to do the fireplace is because everything I said about the sewer, where you're inside something you can't typically see, inside that flue, it could be all cracked and deteriorated, falling apart, and that's now a safety concern. And actually, by the fire code, it's supposed to be every 2 years your fireplace is supposed to be looked at, and at the point of sale, it's supposed to be looked at. and no one ever does. Top 10 home inspection issues. Minor maintenance concerns. I agree with Scott. This is a cookie and a crumb deal. I get it. But just most of the time, just fix them. You know you're there, just take care of them. Minor structural concerns. These are cracks in the foundations that are not structural, where they're leaking water. They could be repaired, and they're not necessarily a big ticket item. They're a $300 to $500 epoxy or urethane injection, and it's taken care of. Take care of the grate outside and drainage. These are simple issues that we taken care of. Old electric concerns. What I mean by this is either it has old electric like knob and tube, an old panel that should be updated because of safety. There are some electrical panels out there you need to be aware of that are real concerns. One, a Federal Pacific panel. This is just an automatic replacement. It just has to go away. Okay, there's been fires in them and serious issues with them. Zinsco panels. Zinsco panels are the same thing. They deteriorate, the breakers move, they arc inside that, and they go and they cause fires. Push-o-matics are out of date, the Bulldog push-o-matics, as well as now the Challenger and the Square Ds. Even though Square Ds are a really big Chicagoland brand, there's a whole series of recall items on a lot of these panels. So it's something that we look at and call out. Water leaking, be it from the roof or the foundation. I've been in roofs where you're standing on them and everything looks good, but you got to be in that attic to see what's going on as far as if the flashings are leaking, if they're leaking in the valleys or anything like that. Foundation cracks, like a little bit before, get the foundation cracks fixed. Poor attic ventilation is something that's typical, and the reason why it's concerned, people add in extra insulation, they forget about the soffit vents and they block them off. Air doesn't come up through the attic, and it ends up causing mold or anything like that up in the attic, or condensation issues. Plumbing leaks. If you have drippy faucets, if you have leaky traps, if you have loose toilets, get them repaired. They're typical, we see them all the time. Age of the appliances. Someone mentioned Harvest Gold. I get it, they're old. Are they working? Yes. Actually, in the contract and in our state law, we don't even have to look at appliances. It's not even in our law to inspect that. We do it because the buyers expect us. And environmental concerns. A lot of times I've had high radon, bad mold, and asbestos and lead in homes that they didn't even know they had. My highest reading for radon is not too far from here in Rockdale, which is right south of here. It was 172. That's my high number. I put out a radon monitor in the basement. I picked it up, 172. And I looked at the sellers who were there and I says, I'm going to put another monitor out because I think there might be something wrong with my monitor. I have 172, and the highest before that was like a 60, 50. I'm going to get another test. Put another one out, put another one next to it, and did a duplicate test right next to it, 171 and 174. So they had high radon. They paid quite a bit to get that house mitigated. Yes, sir. Oh man, I got another 6 hours of slides here. Okay, preparing the house for the radon test. So we talked about 48 hours of the test. It's a short-term test. It's 4 picocuries is the magic number for radon. 3.9 and below is outside of the action level. 4 picocuries and higher is considered elevated and should be mitigated. 99.9% of the time is the seller's problem, okay? Because it's their house with high radon. And then they end up getting it mitigated if it's above 4. Mitigation system is nothing more than a sub-slab depressurization. They core a hole into a slab, basement or crawl space, so they poly it and then put a suction point in there. They would tie together, they go out the side wall, there's a fan, and they go up 1 foot above the roof line, and they mitigate the house and they bring it down below 4. Typically when they do that, they get it down to about 1.2, 1. Usually they're pretty good results. The new houses that are being built today have a passive system. A passive vent does not make a mitigation system. It means that there's a mechanism for a point to vent if they end up testing and have high radon. There's a pipe that goes from the crawl space or basement all the way up and out the roof. So by code, there's an outlet in the attic. All they do is cut the pipe, slide the fan in, hook it back up, plug it in, seal the basement with all cracks and anything that may, and then retest to see if it actually worked and took care of it. That's a passive test. That's code. That's all that they're required to do. I am licensed through IEMA, Illinois Emergency Management Agency, and we all have to have a license. I am the professional at my company, and everybody else in that picture except 2 guys are actually licensed radon. The number of radon monitors depends on the footprint of the home. So if I have a typical split level with a crawl underneath the living room, kitchen, dining room, there's one above that, and then one in the basement on the other side. Or over 2,000 square feet, we're doing 2 radon monitors, we're doing multiple. I've set out as many as 7 radon monitors for a house. And we have to let the seller know that we're testing, because I've had people call me up because I post a house, let them know they have closed house conditions. I leave something for them to sign. By law, I have to have it signed, and no one told them they had to do it. So I have sent a email out to my buyer's realtor. I find their listing agent, I send an email out to them and say, please forward this to your buyer or your seller. So we take care of it that way. What is radon? Radon is a colorless, odorless, tasteless, radioactive gas that comes up to the soil naturally through cracks and crevices below us. It's a class 1A carcinogen. It causes lung cancer at the DNA level on your cells when you bring it in the lung. It's the second leading cause of lung cancer, and 1 in 4 homes are elevated around the country. But here, if you look at the radon maps, they are red, and there are very high radon concentrations. I have a couple. I can't not do a presentation without a couple of my favorite photos. Okay, I just can't do it. Okay, I was telling the virtues of this particular porch in Chicago as I'm saying everything's wrong, and I'm saying you shouldn't even use it, and a guy comes out of the back of the house and tromps down the stairs and walks right past us. Okay, and the bucket is actually catching water with a hose, and the guy has it hooked up to a pump that he turns on when it rains. Good job. You can't just have one outhouse. You have to have a side-by-side outhouse. It's a his and a hers, or your mother-in-law, whatever the case may be. Okay, but some of my favorite photos. I have thousands of them, but I was told I only had 20 minutes, so lucky you. Commercial inspections. We do commercial inspections. They are a different beast than residential home inspections. And I mean that because there's different protocols, there's different ways of inspecting, there's different report writing, but anything can be a commercial, from a typical office warehouse like these to high-rise. Yeah, I was standing on that roof. Railing was about that high. It's right on Chicago, that's State, and that's Elm. Bank building and an office warehouse. Churches, all multifamily, we call commercial as well, depends on the unit. 4 residential, above that, commercial. Completely different standard. The ASTM, American Standards of Testing and Measure, and the Certified Commercial Property Inspectors of America is a company a third party that I belong to, and their guidelines for the standard. I got only a few minutes left, so I got to kind of hurry up. And these are physical deficiencies. We're not finding defects. They call it physical deficiencies according to the rule. And I have a $3,000 limit that I could put into my report, so I don't have to write everything up. ASTM guidelines, and I'll kick through this one. That's the same railing. There I am looking down into the house. And we get up on the roof, take a look at that. These are why these are completely different. Electrical is completely different. That's a commercial panel. You won't find main breakers in there. They're all on disconnects like these. And then this is actually transformers, which you find in basements of large commercial buildings. So these are just different compared to most. And the only reason why I was a carpenter builder, so I had no problem making transition into doing a lot of these. Heating systems up on the roof, you take a look at those, and you look at the heat exchangers like this. They actually get inside and take a look at it from the back. And then the amperage rating, that's 300 amps. Houses down the street from here, 100 amps, maybe 200 amps. Some houses, maybe 4. That's not my highest. I've had 30,000 amps, but that's a big number. So you got to be careful with the electric. It's just a walkthrough. They don't tell you you're supposed to take anything apart, but we do, and we do opinion of cost, and we have a $3,000 threshold. I can adjust that based on the building, and I can even take things in and out. I can't do that with a residential job the same way, but we could do it with the commercial. These are not your typical components. That's a boiler for a apartment building that is probably 1 million BTU. not your typical 100,000 BTU in your home for a boiler, things like that. There's Carol. I could not do it without Carol being here, okay? We are ASHE, CPI, InterNACHI, Main Street, Three Rivers, there you go, Women's Council, NAREP, NICAR, Northern Illinois Commercial, which I am, Exterior Design Institute, and the 203K. You talk about, that's how I ended up backing into home inspection years ago. As a contractor, I ended up getting a lot of 203Ks, and before I knew what I was doing, just inspections and contracting, and that's how I backed into it. This was 1980 something. Sorry. Thank you very much. Any questions? Because now it's question time, right? All right.
So what I'd like to do, by the way, Bruce, thank you. If the presenters can come on up so that we can field questions, I'm going to walk the room and pick up these questions for them to field for us. Appreciate that. I can come back and get that. Okay. All right.
I put the mic there.
All right. Okay. Thank you. This one is from Carrie Carlson for inspection for a condo. If there are items that are not up to the current code standards but are functioning, such as a deck with spindles too far apart, whose responsibility is it to change, the HOA or the owner? So this would be for one of the inspectors here.
I guess it would depend on what your covenants are. Some covenants say that it has to be, stand over here. Some covenants say that they're responsible for all of the exterior. So that would possibly be considered an exterior item. In the covenants, they may say, yeah, we are supposed to take care of that. They may not even be aware that it's not to code anymore. This is the code right here, my fist. If it fits between here, like that, nice and tight, that's the code. Kid's head can't fit through. If it's bigger than that, it's going into our report. So again, we don't comment on specific saying code. We say, this is what it's supposed to be. We say that they're too far apart. It's a safety issue, and we would say, recommend repair by a qualified contractor, and then it falls back to the sellers.
In addition to that, a lot of condo associations or townhouse associations will have reserve studies. That reserve study where they should pick up the code requirements for the safety of the railing and the exterior, that's part of their, as an association's requirement to maintain the outside. So it comes up as a reserve study.
All right, Bruce, thank you. If you could just stand right over here for the video, and Denise, come on up over here, right over here, so we can get it in the video. This one here is for Scott and Bruce. How long does it take for a typical inspection on a 2,000 square foot, 2-story home with a basement?
As long as it needs to.
Yeah, as long as it needs to. The general rule is we're not trying to rush. We're not trying to push the people out the door to get to another inspection. We take as long as it takes. Same as how we price a house. Every house is different. It's a basement full of stuff, and we're navigating around that, and we're having to move stuff to get to the panel or find an access to the crawl space or the attic. We got to take clothes out of a closet. Totally pain in the time scheduling app, but it's going to take probably, the good rule of thumb is an hour for every 1,000 square feet. So if you picture 2 hours, maybe 2.5, if they have a lot of questions, maybe a little longer. You know, that's just plan on that. And if they say, well, I got an appointment at 9 o'clock and you're starting at 8, you're like, we would say, show up at the end. That's the most important time.
We try to gain about a half hour or 15 minutes by getting our inspectors there and take care of a lot of the exterior, like the roof. Because when we get there, my inspectors have 3 ways to inspect that roof. We got the drone. All my guys are drone licensed, so they get the drone out. We have where we get ladders up on the roof because I don't invite any of my buyers up on anything with a ladder. And the third one is we use an inspection pole with the camera. We can't do it. Like just yesterday when it was raining, we were north. I had a lot of my inspectors take out a pole with the GoPro on it and do the roof.
All right, awesome information. This one here is for Denise. What are the most common system or appliance breakdowns?
Most common.
Right there's good. Yeah, right there's good.
I would have to say, well, the most claims we get are probably appliances or their HVAC, their air conditioning or furnace, depending upon the season. But those are the biggest, I guess, claims. I mean, we do get plumbing claims, but yeah, those are the biggest ones, the HVAC and the appliances.
Awesome. All right, thank you. Stay right there.
Oh, you got another question?
Well, you have, one more that I'm going to want you to field, but this one here is going to be for Scott or Bruce. What is thermal imaging, and what does it detect?
Thermal imaging, the easiest way to describe it is, you remember that movie Predator? And it had that Arnold Schwarzenegger with that monster mirror guy up in the trees looking at him running through the jungle, and they're orange. Or when he climbs out of the water and he covers himself in mud, and only his eyeballs are sticking out, and the monster comes out and he goes, "Oh, I can't see him anywhere." Well, that was fake, because they would have seen his eyeballs and he would have shot him right then, the movie'd be over. That's thermal imaging. What it looks for is an anomaly, a temperature anomaly. So if I spilled a glass of water right here, in about 2 minutes, it's going to start evaporating. Doesn't matter if it's hot or cold water, it's going to start evaporating. Evaporation is a cooling process. Cooling process would show colder temperature footprint than the surrounding area. That's the anomaly. So now we see something in a wall that has a temperature anomaly, like, okay, then maybe that's it. And then we got a moisture meter. We can actually probe it and see, is it really wet, or is that just they have a hole on the other side of the wall with cold air coming in? So we don't just say, oh yeah, it's blue, you got water. There's ways to look at it. But that's what thermal imaging does. It looks for temperature anomalies.
That's fine. Yeah, that's good. That's what it is. It reads surface temperatures, all it reads.
Okay, all right, great. This one is from Jennifer Christopher. Do you have recommendations for specialty items that come up in the inspection, structural, sewer lines, etc.?
Normally, we don't do any contractors because I don't want anybody to have the impropriety that we are recommending our buddy, the electrical contractor. The ones that we do recommend would be the radon techs, the radon mitigators, the mold remediation, sewer repair, because they're a little bit harder to find. I won't do a typical chimney guy. I won't do a typical electrician or a plumber, but I will do radon or eaves. When I do the eaves, I have a contractor because they're not easy to find.
That's good.
Okay, this one, thank you guys. This one's for Denise, asked by Mike Montgomery. You do not offer a warranty on an existing homeowner that never had a home warranty. That's a question. That's not part of the real estate transaction.
Actually, we do offer our real estate plans to any and everybody that's referred to us through a realtor. So your neighbors, your friends, your past customers, anybody and everybody can get on our real estate plan, just as long as they somehow or another were referred by you. Now, that's called a non-transactional order. So they will have a 30-day wait on claims, just to make sure everything is in proper working order before the warranty goes into effect. It also allows us to pay you a $75 referral fee on that, because it's not going through a real estate transaction. So it's not a RESPA compliancy issue.
So I ask that because it says, can I enroll in a home warranty plan if I'm not in a real estate transaction? It says yes, so long as you can provide proof of prior coverage from another warranty.
No, the proof of prior coverage means if you're going from one home warranty company to us, and you're up for renewal, and you can provide me with a renewal letter from that previous company, then I can take off the 30-day wait on claims. Otherwise, you're going to get the 30-day wait, okay? Good question.
Yeah, that was an awesome question. All right, this one here is for Scott and or Bruce. How much notice is needed to schedule an inspection?
Bruce has 24 hours or 48-hour guarantee. We've got
Same day.
Yeah, same day. It sometimes goes with the season. If you're jam-packed in the summer, like we sometimes can get, it may be a few days, but we try and get everybody in the 5-day inspection contingency. Sometimes you have to ask for an extension. That happens. You don't want to do it, but it does happen. But there's no perfect answer for that, other than they have same day or 48 hours.
We don't have a guarantee for that, but we can usually do that.
My same day has some stipulations that we have to make sure everything's up and going. We have to have a signed contract, because I've sent guys out, but if you call us in the morning, we usually have one guy for an afternoon slot. It doesn't come up that often, but we do have a 48-hour scheduling guarantee. So if you call right now, within 48 hours, I would have an inspector there. And I've actually had where I've had to put an inspector that was off and pay him more to go back out to take his day off.
And also, if people call us to say, can we schedule an inspection, one of the first questions that I ask them is, hey, so you've got an accepted offer? No. I go, well, okay, why are you getting an inspection? Well, my agent said to get it set up. I go, but you don't have the offer yet, accepted, signed by both parties? No. I'll just be real blunt with you. The seller is not going to allow us in the house. Why would they? In a million years, I would not let anybody in my house if I don't have an offer from them that's signed and accepted. And as a buyer, why would you want to do that? Because here you could be, if they said, yeah, we'll let you in, and we're doing the inspection, they come walking down the stairs and go, hey, guess what? We just got an accepted offer from them. You can leave because you're not buying this house. We already accepted it from them. Like, okay, so it's not a great idea to do that at all.
All right, the last question that I have, at least, unless there's more out there, what is a closed house condition for radon? And that's for Bruce. You mentioned that in your presentation.
Closed house condition means that the house has to be windows and doors closed for 12 hours prior to the test. That's written into the law. That means that the house and the radon decay is actually what they call plated out after 12 hours. It means it's onto the wall or onto curtains or finishings or anything like that. So then whatever radon reading we're going to pick up is actually new radon coming into the home. So, and then it goes for 12 hours prior. You can have normal entering and exiting throughout closed house conditions during the test. You just don't leave your garage door open because of pressure differentials. Open up windows, open up doors. You can run your air conditioning and your furnace in your normal temperatures, anywhere from 68 to 76, things like that, heating or cooling season. What we don't like to see is you running dryer repeatedly, because now you're creating a suction point for air to come in from the outside, and you could be actually raising the radon levels in the home, or kitchen vent fans running for a long extended period of time. Things like that. Closed house conditions. Just keep the windows and doors closed. You walk into a door, close the door behind you.
That also goes for mold testing too. You have to have closed house conditions for mold because we're testing a base control sample outside the house, and then we're doing samples inside the house. I literally went to an inspection a few months ago over in Orland, and the gentleman couldn't be there for the mold test. And I told him, I said, make sure all the windows are closed, everything's cool tomorrow. Don't open up. Nice day, I don't care. You want to get a nice fresh breeze? No, don't do it. So he said, I can't be there. My mom's going to be there. Well, guess what Mom did? This house is so stuffy. Let's open up. So I drive up there and can't do the test. It's basically the same outside as in. Had to come back another day, and we made it work. But that's what closed house means.
Let me finish up on the mold. Mold testing is done a variety of ways. We do air samples. You do air samples. We take one outside, and then we do two. You do 2 or 3? 2?
Depends.
It depends. It depends on the house. Then we do 2 or 3 inside. Where you don't take them, I don't know if you do attics or no attics. Okay. We do tape lift when we have visible suspected mold. We do a tape lift.
That we do in the attic.
That we do in the attic, yeah, or in the crawl space. We do air samples in a crawl space if it's part of the living. But if you have outside mold that shows Stachybotrys, Penicillium, Cladosporium, or something like that, and then you're inside and you have completely different molds, that's telling you that you have that mold growth inside as opposed to what you have outside. That's why we do the sample outside. That's our benchmark that tells us what we have in the area. Then the inside has to be lower than outside, and a lot of times they're clear. Or if you have different molds, you have a problem.
Okay, so a follow-up question to that closed house condition is, how long does the radon test last? Is it 12 hours?
No, sir. Radon testing is a 48-hour test by law, and it has to be 48 hours. The law says if you have a 47-hour test, it's actually short and it's void. Okay, every now and again, the only time we could pick it up is 47 hours. I said, I can't do it. It has to be 48 hours by law. So it has to be there. We can let it run longer. We can run it up to 96 hours. Actually, by EPA standards, anything under 90 days is considered a short-term test. Above that's long-term. You could use different equipment for that. But for a real estate transaction, it's 48 hours.
And what some people try to do with the radon test, if they've been through this process before, they know the drill, like, man, I hope this doesn't come up elevated. They're going to try and like crack a couple windows open. They're going to unplug it. They're going to turn off a breaker. They're going to do some stuff to try and game the system. The machines know it. They know you're jacking with it. And so it will totally say, it will say you're jacking with it and you just voided the test and you're trying to screw with the buyers, and it never works. The machines, it'll literally know if you go up and go,
yeah.
Uh-oh, it'll say somebody touched it.
Yeah.
I bumped one over one time. It was like,
yeah, I did an inspection where I was not doing the radon, and we turned off it was on a GFCI, and the radon mitigator didn't know it. I'm sorry, the radon tester didn't know it. I hit the GFI, it went off, so it had a power short. I actually texted the radon tech. It says, you have a power short. It's from me. I'm a professional licensed radon. The test is still fine. It's still going. I know the monitor still works through the test, but he would have avoided the test. So he didn't want to have that either.
All right. Any other questions?
I have one.
Yes.
What happens, Denise? Yeah. What happens when the home inspectors mark up the appliances or something's not working, like an air conditioning, and then they turn in a claim to you later?
Who turns in the claim?
Now the buyer of the home.
The new buyer.
Okay, so.
But the report said
Who's gonna answer?
not working.
Who's going to answer? Karen. Yeah, I get this all the time.
Okay. So home warranties always reserve the right to request proof of a simple mechanical test, such as a home inspection, should there be a claim shortly thereafter closing. So this is why we suggest that you apply seller's coverage to all your listings, because then we have a relationship with the home. And the sellers can obviously contact us with a claim if something's not working properly, right? And it can be repaired before a buyer even has the opportunity to close on their home and have it not working for them, okay? So that's the optimal. But if the sellers did not have the listing coverage and the buyer moves in and they find that the, built-in microwave isn't working properly for some reason, we may ask for proof of that simple mechanical test, such as the home inspection, in which case, if the home inspector said, not working, then that says to us it's already a known pre-existing condition, so they knew about it, and we don't cover known pre-existing conditions. It's like having a car accident and then going and getting your insurance and then trying to file the claim on the damage. It doesn't work that way.
One other thing, another myth I should have said, as a real estate agent, and you see us doing an inspection and something is not working, a microwave, a furnace, or whatever, don't tell the buyer, oh, you're getting a home warranty with the purchase of the house. The sellers are providing warranty. This will be taken care of. They're going to be mad at you. Don't say that. That is absolutely 100% not true. That's exactly what she just described. But you're adding to it by saying, it'll be fine. We're getting a warranty. Not so.
Yes, always set the proper expectations, for sure.
Bruce, you wanted to say something?
No, I've been there hundreds of times. That's why I'm like, okay.
It's awkward.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thermal imaging. Well, why we use it for water penetration and anomalies for heat. I take a picture of the microwave with the thermal camera with it running, going, so we know its temperature was working. We do the oven, the stove, the refrigerator, the furnace, the water heater, to make sure they're all going, including the electrical panel.
Good info. Good info. All right, this is the last question here, and I apologize that we're running a little bit more over time, but these are all good questions, and I'm hoping you all are finding value. This one is back to Denise. If the inspection comes back with items at the end of life and the buyer moves in it and doesn't work, is it covered?
Well, just because the inspector said that it's nearing the end of its life expectancy, but they declare it working, then we do cover it, yes. If it's a failure on first-time usage, in other words, if they move into the house and the first time they turn on the air conditioner, they say, it's the first time we've ever tried to use it and it doesn't work, that throws up a bit of a red flag, and we will absolutely ask for that home inspection report. Okay, if the home was not able, if the inspector was not able, right, it was a winter inspection, so he did the visual and said, well, it looked good, you know, then we still send a vendor out to find out what's wrong. I mean, we want to know what's wrong, and if it's fixable, we'll fix it. Okay, if we have to replace it, we'll replace it. But as long as we know that there was no way the inspector could actually turn it on, you know, then we accept the liability.
Okay, great. Thank you all three for your time and expertise.